Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. We're going to proceed on with the tail. We relieved the tail. We marked it, burned it out, and then we lifted it with the bullet, which is this diamond bullet right here. Okay, so we got that staged so that you have an arc and your feathers from the center going this way are stepped down slightly, and same way on this side. They're just a little bit of a stepping. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the back end. We're also going to narrow the rump area, and we're also going to try to adjust where the feathers came down into the body. There's like a hump here. So we're going to clean this up so that we could really get some nice shape in the end of where the tail feathers come in. These are like wing coverts, they call right in here. So we're going to adjust this whole thing. We got like corners here and we got material here. So I'm going to show you before we finalize the back end. We're going to finalize this area right in here. Okay, so let me bring the camera down and I'll show you exactly what I'm shooting for, and we'll proceed on. Okay, I want to take you on a couple more steps just so we're ready to go at it pretty good. Where the feathers came down into the body here, we had this arc that came around and it went to the fourth feather over here. And I asked you to at least bring the feathers down, but they look like they're rolling up when they should be going straight in to the body. So we'll correct that. So we're going to have to do a little more burning and a little more relieving of the feathers right at the bottom here. So it looks like it's going into the body and not rolling up to the body. So we have this arc that came around from the center. It arced over to the fourth feather, and it did the same thing on the side. And you want it to look like it's symmetrical. At least you're hoping that you get pretty close to that, so that from the center line, this side to that side looks pretty much the same. You may have some more material in here that you need to get out. That's what we're going to try to rectify. The other thing I want to measure too, that'll help expedite some time, is I want you to go on the back side of the tail, and from the top down, I want you to measure 1.25 inches. Well, let's see, 1 1/8 inches, I'm sorry, from the top of the tail down on the center line, put a dot. Then I want you to measure from that dot another inch, and that comes right to there. Then what I want you to do is get your inch mark lined up with the center line. We're doing like a perpendicular setup here. And when you go out to the right, you go out 7/16, which is just shy of 1/2 inch. And the same way on this side, 7/16. Then what I'm going to ask you to do, as you can see, I made a V up here. So I want to really start on a V, but then as we come down, I'm going to arc it right about when it gets to that 7/16 mark right out here. So we're doing this. Okay. And I'm going to ask you to do the exact same thing so that everything looks symmetrical on either side of the center line. So I come straight down and then roll it just a little bit right into there. Okay. So this will give us an area where the rump is going to come in, and we have the tail to clean up too. This area where we staged each feather step down, we have a little drop along here. and we have it as well on this side. So I'm going to ask you, all this material out here, we're going to grind away. So let me show you that. I'm going to get the pear here, which is the ruby pear. And again, I'm using my optivisor so I can see better when I do it. Hopefully I can. And you can see well too. I hope I'm in the right direction here on the camera. I'm going to come in with the pear and get this excess out. I'm coming in and I'm taking it down right to the feather without reshaping the feather. You want to go nice and steady. Then I come over on this side. This corner here is what's got to really be brought in. So take your time. I'm using the pear and I'm making sure that it looks symmetrical also. You know, that we have the same look from the center line out this way and that way. And if any of you have more material sticking out from this side or that side, come along here and just clean it out, okay? So that when you look straight down, you have that straight edge coming down in. So clean that up with the pear as well and get that right where it should be, okay? Now, what I want to do here is we have this bump right in here. So I want to try to get rid of that. So I'm going to use the pear and I'm going to go right on that line and I'm just going to go in, maybe about almost a 16th, not quite, but something like that. And what I want to do, I want to get this profile of this wing going straight into the body. So where we had the burning coming right on down into the body, I'm going to lower this on this side. Just local to that arc. Because the way the feathers came down, they came down and swooped up onto the body when they should be going straight into the body. Okay? So I said a 16th. If it needs a little bit more than that on yours, definitely do that. But you can see I'm staying local. Let me mark this area out that we had here originally. And what I'm trying to do is get this line of action come straight down. And if I lay my roller on here, you almost want it to come right in there, okay? So it looks like it needs a little bit more, so I'm gonna lower it one more time. I don't want to get too aggressive because I don't want to dip in there neither. I want to be able to just slide it straight in. And if I have to come up a little bit on the feather, that's all right too. Now, this here, you can see there's a rise and fall right in here now. So what I'm going to do is soften this whole arc out. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to bring this down. So come around here. I'm going to round this. Here's the center line of the body. And I'm trying to get it to blend back into the body here. Hope I'm on camera here and I didn't move off. And I'm going to go right up to that pencil line. We're going to go past it here shortly, but I want to at least get you to capture this area in here before we start transitioning out to other areas. So I want to get this down. So I'm using the pear. I find the pear is more forgiving and it doesn't get you in trouble, where if you did like the flame, the ruby flame or the bullet would. Each one has its purpose. One will maintain an edge, the other one's doing some rounding, and I like the pear because it's sort of like ball shaped in a way that it doesn't gouge and make more ruts. Okay, so I don't know if you could see that well or not, but this has a nice roll over here. Still has a right at the end where the pencil line was. I'm going to go past it just a little bit, just to smooth that out for the moment, very lightly. Now, what I want to do is we need to get the proper length for the tail, so we'll be doing that. And at the same time, what I want to try to show you as well, this drop wing separates from the body. So from about maybe the third feather down, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to run a pencil line right along here. And I'm bringing it around here and here. And I'm coming up to where you have this 1, 2, 3 group. I'm going to stop it right about there. And I'm going to do some transitioning. Now, here's where I come with my bullet shape, or if you have the ruby flame, I would use that. And I get this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to undercut and not touch the feathers at all. I'm going right up to the pencil line, but I don't want to reshape the feathers. So I'm burying this. The diameter of this is almost 3/32. So I'm cleaning that out, and I'm going to come around to this side, and I'm going to stay on the outside of the pencil line towards the belly side here. And I'm taking my time, just laying it and tracking it. And as I get up to these 3 feathers, I just transition it out, okay? So I have probably about 3/4 of the bit in below the wood here, or into the wood. So now what you have is you have this cleaned out, and you got a channel through there. You have this edge coming all the way around here, okay, and here. Now what I want to do is clean that channel out. I want to flow out of there and up to here, okay? And I don't want to bang into the feathers. So, and while we're here, let me also get the feather length again. I'm going to go back to my original one, and I'm going to measure that real quick here. And that looks like we said 1.5 inches was for the center feather. So I'm going to measure, let me flip this way, and go 1.5 inches and put the dot. So here's our center line again. I always keep the center lines. Center lines keep you straight. Then this feather came down to there, that one to there. And then these do a little bit of an arc and get a little longer. I don't know if you can see this well or not. This comes down here. This one comes down a little lower. This one comes down a little lower. And then the last one would be right in there. And that's going to be a little lower. Okay, like that. So it has its own little arc as it comes down. This will be a little longer than the center one. This will be a little longer. This one pulls in, and then this one. I don't know if I have that exactly, but we will lengthen it each one. Okay, so I could do a better job than that. And get that down. Okay, now this channel edge, I don't want to bang into any of the feathers up here, but I need to clean all this material out so that this doesn't have this rut going through here. So I'm going to go back to my pear. I'll put that in as the ruby pear, but you can use a diamond pear as well. That works out just as well. Now, I'm going to come in, and from the bottom of that channel, here's the edge out here, I want to blend this back into the belly, into the center here. So, I don't want to hit the wing at all. I'm just taking this down and blending it this way. And I'm taking this, and I'm rolling it to the center. And what I should have had you done is to maintain that center line that came up here. Okay, so you know where you're shooting to. This rounds over to that, and you're blending everything out. You don't want to see any remnant of an edge, and if you do, you didn't take enough down there. So I'm going to come all the way around, coming even around the bend here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of trying to bang into these wings here, let me clean that off. I'm going to come in here and just work between the wing and the tail feathers, like this, and blend that away. Okay, and this gets rounded as if like this rolls down into that valley. Okay, like so. And that's without touching the tail. I'm sorry, the wing of it. So what you have is a nice transition from here down into what was that valley that we had right in here. Okay, and I'm cleaning all of that out, all the way around, and then you have to move this sometime. And when I do that, and I don't think you could see it on camera, I still see some edges that didn't get rolled. So I'll come back and I'll gently not try to hit the wing at all and round that over, okay? And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm showing you this on one side, but I'm going to ask you to do this on the other side so that we can get that done as well the same way, exact same way. So what you have is a nice round over from what would be the valley of that pass we made with our bullet, and then roll up. I still see little shadows of the edge. So I'm going to go in until I get it. I'm not trying to really take a lot of material out. I'm trying to roll it so it conforms to what the belly should look like it's rounded over, okay? And then we're going to do a little more magic here on this. I'm putting these back. Remember, we came in let's see, I forget the numbers here for that V. It was an inch and an eighth down, and then an inch. Then we came out 7/16 perpendicular on both sides. From here out 7/16 and here out 7/16. Then we wanted to go almost a straight line and then curve at the last minute into that spot, and same over here. Now, what I want to do here is I want to start to formulate the rump, and the rump's really got to go in there. And to really make it more realistic, we're going to really attack this, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going back to the bullet. This is a diamond bullet. And I want to keep this out a little bit more on my machine, because I got to reach in there. And what I'm going to do, I guess the best way, is to lay it right on the line. I'm going in there. I want, if I could show you here, probably the width of the bit. I'm going to do it on both sides. In depth. So we get that Z in there. So here we are. Let me shut that off. Here's the V here. That should be coming down. I didn't do that, but that's really where it's going to go to. Right in there. And you have this coming back. And back. Now, what we want to do is we want to blend this away, because you can see the thickness of your feather is out a little bit. So I'm going to thin this as this comes down. This will be coming this way. I want to take this down, and I'm going to take this down as well. So here we go. I'm going to do it again with the bullet. I'm sort of flattening that and rolling it down to get rid of this channel edge on this side. And again, I do not want to touch the feathers. Get right up to them, but so I sort of leveled. Let me come in here. I'm going to actually come into that channel we had over here going around the feathers. I'm going to come in there and clean that out a little bit more. Like so. I'll have that. That's right, I didn't do it on this side, because I was asking you to do that. But over here, we do have it done. And I'm asking you to join this up like that. I don't know if you can see that well. I'm going to show you the edge I created on the inside. And then there's this edge on the outside, and your valley's in the middle. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to flatten this. Just like so. And then I round the ends here. And I'm not, again, not touching the feather. Okay? And we can actually take this down so that this last feather is coming straight in. And it looks like it's going into the body. Okay? Now, I'm going to come in and show you the valley that we created with a pencil here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and roll this towards the center. Let me come in here a little bit more. Let me extend this down to here. So I'm taking this. Remember, we were 7/16 out, and we were 1 inch down. So I'm tracking on that pencil line. Okay. So from here, where we came out of this valley and we rounded this over, we're going to do that all the way up onto this center line. This rump is going to roll to this center line. And this is the rump right in here that we're creating. So I'm coming in here and I'm getting that bit and I'm going right into that valley and rolling it up. Okay. So that's rounding over. And you want a nice roll out from that valley up to the top. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go in there like on a 45-degree angle, trying to get that roll out. So it comes all the way out. And it flows right into that channel we've created on either side. This will be deeper. This is the correct one here. You can see we're much deeper on this side because we haven't done this side yet. And this comes up, and that whole thing sort of flows up through here. Now, what I'm going to do, from here to here, I'm going to leave an edge, but half the what I have. So I'm going to come in with my bullet and flow this back. Like so. So you have an edge just coming down and just touching it like that. And then if you didn't clean everything out, or you could come in like this on an angle and clean this side of that channel, and then you would clean the other side of the channel the same way. You're sort of taking a, I'll say a 45-degree angle down. And then if you see any edges rolling, it should be rolling towards the center. You want to get any edges out of there. And sometimes you just use a gentle touch to get rid of the edges. So now we established the rump. We've got the feathers for the tail flowing into the body now correctly. I don't know if you can see that sweep. It ends right here. And they don't look like they have a hump. And we will burn that in and then finish that up and lift them as we did before. And what I'm going to do is I'll work the other side to get rid of this. You can see how this is nicely flowing from here down to there, and this still has a bump in here because I haven't undercut along here yet on this side like I did. You can see the differences from here to here, and this thing has to be opened up from the outside of that pencil. So if you can get that much done, we have a little more hogging to do, but I'll show you that on the next video. And if you can accomplish that much, we're getting almost to the point of the shaping of the wren. You know, we're getting pretty close. And once we get the tail out, and we got the rump done, then it's a matter of detailing, and I'll show you how to do that too. So if you got something out of this, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. It greatly helps me out, and I will take you on the journey of doing more on the wren on the next video. And like I said before, if anybody wants to try the wren, I have kits. I also have the blanks, or if you just want the pattern or feet or eyes, I have that available. And if you ever need any equipment similar to what I use, or any additional or bits, I have that available too. So again, thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.